Hi, this is Dr. Mercola, and today I'd like to clear up some confusion about coconut oil. And this confusion exists because 90% of the fat in coconut oil is saturated. And many health experts in the media are continually telling you that saturated fat isn't healthy, and I'm telling you this is a myth. And let me explain how this myth started. In around 1950, a pioneer investigator by the name of Ansel Keys made the observation that the epidemic of heart disease at that time appeared to be related to hydrogenated vegetable oil. Well, that got the edible oil industry, a very large industry, very concerned and upset. So they immediately got on their marketing bandwagons and tried to vilify another fat, which is the saturated fat. And it turns out that this hydrogenated vegetable oil, it is the trans fat that is the primary factor that's contributing to the observation of an increase in heart disease and other damages, such as Alzheimer's and brain diseases. So clearly you want to avoid like the plague any hydrogenated oils, any trans fat. That should be avoided. That's very clearly established. There's no controversy there. Where the controversy exists is that frequently when in this process where you hydrogenate the oils, that it typically occurs that there's saturated fat. So saturated fat has been unfairly villainized over the last 50 years because of this process, and many healthcare professionals are just simply confused about this. But let me talk a little bit more about why coconut oil is good for you. You see, although 90% of the fat in there is saturated fat, 50%, half of the fat in coconut oil is a fat called lauric acid. And lauric acid is a medium chain fatty acid which has antibacterial, antiviral, and antiprotozoal properties. And your body converts this to monolaurin. And monolaurin is a monoglyceride which is very potent, and it can actually destroy lipid-coated viruses. So this is one of the key reasons that you would like to consume or consider consuming coconut oil, because the sources of monolaurin are very few in our diet. So it's a phenomenal source of monolaurin. So some cautions about coconut oil you may or may not know, in that it has a relatively high melting point. And that means for most of us it is a solid at room temperature. It turns liquid about 76 degrees. So if you put coconut oil in the fridge, it's going to be very difficult to scoop out. So you'd want to store it in a temperature closer to 76. So this way it'll be easy to remove. Now, it has many health benefits. It seems to be a very effective supporter of thyroid health, thyroid function, which helps people optimize their metabolic rate and control their weight, and heart health. These are all really important, well-documented observations on the use of coconut oil. It's also one of the main ingredients that we use in our body butter. Many people like to apply this topically because of what it does with their skin. But we've had lots of great comments, and I encourage you to view the comments in a link below or in our store about what people have been saying. But the general, just in summary of it, is that many people just find it to be one of the best ones out there in the market with respect to its taste, its flavor, and the way it smells. It's really truly remarkable. So coconut oil is something that I really enjoy and use quite regularly myself. I try to have some regularly throughout the week because of all the health benefits that it provides. And I would just want to make sure that, that you're aware of these things and details. And it's important also, though, that ideally you want to know what your nutritional type. I happen to be a protein type, so I need lots of fat in my diet. But if you are a carb type and you're biochemically and genetically designed to have small or lower amounts of fat, then you're going to want to limit the amount of coconut oil. And if for any reason coconut oil makes you nauseous or you get sick from it, then that's a clue that your body should not be using this, or you need it in very small amounts. So that happens very rarely, but that's really true for any food. If your body violently objects to it, that you want to stay away from, because allergies, of course, can be an issue. Additionally, many people find that it's a useful oil to cook in. It's an alternative to olive oil. It tends, because there's so much saturated fat, it is very difficult to oxidize any of the fats in there, so as a result it's less damaged when you heat it, but ideally the bulk of your food should be raw and uncooked. But if for some reason you're going to choose to cook food, then coconut oil would be a good oil to consider. So hopefully this information will be useful for you and your family to continue to take control of your health.